65% of his participants actually administered up to 450 volts of electricity. Famous psychology experiments, part 1. Why do we obey? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Please do not forget, before I go further, please do not forget to click like. Yes, I know you've not even watched the video, but like it now. Yes, go. All right, do not forget to like this video, share, subscribe, and leave me your comments because it helps me dish out more content to you guys. All right, now getting into it, I want to talk to you guys about a famous psychology experiment. I'm hoping that this will be a series, but I don't know yet. To be honest, I don't know, but let's take this as part 1 of it. Okay, this is for my psychology enthusiasts or psychology students or people who are just interested in psychology, mental health, or whatever. All right, so reasons why people obey. One is because that authority figure is legitimate. All right, so there's an experiment conducted by Milgram. Milgram, if you've heard about it, called the Milgram shock experiment. So Milgram wanted to test out to what extent will people obey others, to what extent would they obey, especially authority figures, and they be destructive in their obedience. So what he decided to do was he called for participants. All right, he had participants, and then he had fake participants, so people who already knew what was going to happen in the experiment. So he had somebody there seated as a fake participant, and then there was a real participant who was taking part in the experiment. So the real participant is the person who he was testing to find out to what extent the person would go to administer shock to someone else. Okay, so now during the experiment, they would ask the fake participant a question, and he would fail the question on purpose, and then the real participant would be the one to administer that shock to the fake person. Okay, and now every time you fail a question, they up the voltage. They take the voltage to another level. All right, so every time the fake participant failed a question, the real participant will administer a higher voltage to that person. So this was what Milgram continued doing, and every time that the real participants would say, oh, I can't continue, I can't hurt somebody else, Milgram or somebody else who was wearing a lab coat and who was a scientist would say things like, oh, it's okay, you already said you're going to take part in the experiment, can you please continue, the experiment requires you to do so, and things like that. All right, now these are called verbal prods, okay, to just kind of motivate the person to continue because in their mind they had given their word. At the end of Milgram's experiment, it showed that 65% of his participants actually administered up to 450 volts of electricity. Now, this was the highest volt that was to be administered, 450 volts, and 65% of people who took part in that study actually got to that 450 volts. All right, in the end anyway, Milgram did explain to his participants what had happened and, explain to them that they did not in reality hurt anyone. However, when they asked some of the participants why they still went ahead to administer 450 volts of electricity despite the other participants screaming and shouting, they said simply because they did not want to let the experimenter down. They felt that the experimenter was a legitimate source of authority, and they felt like they were placed in a situation where they could not say no. But mind you, there was nothing that said they could not stop at any point in time. If anything, they told them at the beginning of the experiment that they could stop at any point in time. They felt that they could not say no because of the experimenter, because the experimenter was placed in a position of authority, and they felt that that authority was legitimate. Now, that was what I mentioned earlier, that people would obey based on the authority figure that is in front of them. You can carry this out even in your own home, among your friends and things like that. You can even carry it out among children as a little bit of experiment. You can try it out. So you can ask kids to do something, and you see that some of them would do it because you are older and they feel like either you're an elder sibling or a teacher or an uncle or something, compared to when you tell their age mates to actually do that thing. Or even in school, some of you in school, your head boy, your head girl, when they ask you to do certain things, yeah, you might want to disobey maybe, but when you remember that this person is a place of authority, it might prompt you to want to do better. So that is one reason why people obey, and that is on Milgram's experiment. You can check that experiment out. Just go into Google and type in Milgram shock experiment and read all about it. And when you do, you can come back to this video and let me know your findings, and if you actually like the experiment, or if you do not like it, do you like Milgram and things like that. Do not forget to share this video, like and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, be civil to one another out there.